majority of their peers in the day of judgment, apparently.
God bless you for keeping your faith in the time of disbelief.
There won't be 12
glad to join us,
in the
sir.
day of judgment. There's going to be a holy and righteous
I would,
judge.
but I got $750,000 sitting there that I need to stay with.
Check out that. I think there's a website in the back of there.
I like the flag though.
Check out that website. Do you know much about this Holocaust taking place in our country today?
Oh yeah, I know all about it.
Are you currently taking any action to stop it?
What's that?
Are you taking any action right now to stop it?
I don't have abortions.
Well, I mean, like, are you taking action to abolish abortion?
I mean, if it comes to a vote, I know which way I'm going to vote.
Well, we vote, but there's a lot of other things we need to do. We need to have urgency to abolish abortion, and I know there are people that don't know what to do. But like what we're doing tonight's one thing, and like another thing. I'll give you some. If you want to pass out any cards, like this is a very simple thing you can do. Passing out job cards that have the message of abolishing abortion, and just talking about it.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we brought out
And
the
that,
photographs
because
of
most people won't talk about this evil.
Hopefully
Like they'll vote pro-life, they'll give to pregnancy resource centers, but they don't really do much about it. I mean, those are good things, but they don't really do much. They don't talk about it very much. They don't go out to the abortion mills, and you know there's abortion mills here in Milwaukee. Did you know that?
It's a terrible thing that should not happen.
There's two.
What's going on with the
What's that?
It's not usually on my tour list.
On your tour list or your musician?
I'm a coach bus driver.
Oh, okay.
That coach bus I just brought it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
so
you
that's usually
probably
on
got.
my
I don't want to keep you from your work, but I don't know what your schedule looks like. You know how often you're working, but I encourage you when you're not working to come out to the abortion mills. If I don't know if maybe your work doesn't allow that, but there's two. There's affiliated medical services, and there's a Planned Parenthood right here in Milwaukee. And not many Christians go out to either of them. And that's one thing. We need. Are you a Christian?
Their own bodies that should not be victimized.
Well, we need thousands of Christians storming these abortion mills and shut them down. We're not doing that. We need Christians to talk about this. We need to demand of the legislatures to do their duty before God and abolish abortion, to ignore Roe v. Wade, and to protect these children, because they're not doing that. And it's also, you can look that up on YouTube, Abolish Human Abortion, because there are abolitionists hitting the streets like we're doing tonight. We need more Christians doing that. And that's how we'll abolish abortion, by taking it seriously, acting like abortion is murder. And like me, I got signs and I got a megaphone, and not everyone can, maybe is able to do that, but just talk about it a lot.
I'm pretty sure it's usually because of persecution.
What's that?
Usually because of persecution, I could see it. The reason people don't do it publicly, a lot of Christians don't do it publicly.
It's not really persecution, because we don't really have persecution in this country.
Well, I mean, like, people walking by, calling you crazy, all that different stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I do. Well, they call it crazy because not many Christians do what we're doing. And I'm not saying we're better. It's a fact. There's not many street preachers in this country. There's not many Christians who actually act like abortion is murder. And we need to act like abortion is murder. We need to go out to the streets, preach the gospel, and show signs like this, and everywhere we go. And there's a lot of things that we can do. And I can give you some ideas if you look that up. And I'd encourage you maybe to even get some signs and hit a street corner somewhere and show people what's happening in our culture. And just make it a priority to talk about a lot. That's what I did.
Yeah.
When I found out about this Holocaust, I talked about it a lot. And I was one of the only ones who did.
I had no idea there was even abortion mills. I don't even know what that is.
See, that's part of the problem is a lot of people don't know that. A lot of Christians.
That's about it.
Well, that's what I mean.
Okay.
So, I mean, did you know there are abortion clinics here in Milwaukee?
Oh yeah, I can assume every major city that I go to. I go all around the United States. So.
Do you know where they are?
No.
Well, I know the affiliated is over on Farwell Avenue, it's called.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where Planned Parenthood is at, but I mean, you can easily look them up. But I encourage you to go out there and speak up for these children. because children are saved through doing that. They're going there and speaking up on their behalf, and
Don't harden your heart.
get some resources,
Have compassion
and
for the unborn children that are
you
dying
find something
every
through that
day in
website,
America.
and
Dying by the thousands.
speak up for these children.
Right. And they don't really have a voice yet.
What's that?
They don't have a voice yet.
What do you mean?
Newborns, they don't have a voice yet.
Oh.
My daughter
The
didn't
Bible
learn to
says
talk
that God
till she
hates
was
the
about
hands that
1
shed
and a
innocent
half.
blood. How much do you
That's why we
feel
gotta be
about
a voice, 'cause
abortion
they don't have
doctors here in
one.
America?
And so that but that's one thing we do is go out to the streets, go to events like this, reach a lot of people,
We need to say something.
and because Christians did not do this for me growing up. They didn't like. I never saw Christians out doing this, and I wish that had happened. I mean, because we're educating people about the Holocaust taking place because the media won't do it, and
Not unless there's some big name in it.
but they'll never show a child murdered by abortion.
No.
So that's why we do it, is to bypass the media blackout, and to show people this is what's happening in your country, in your culture, right here in Milwaukee.
That has to go through
And-
the contents of an abortion.
and,
after it's
so
done,
that's-
and they need to identify
that's-
human body parts.
So that's some
and
of the things that can be done.
that a pile of tissue.
What
they need
was
to
your name?
identify two
Cody.
arms, two
Cole?
legs,
Cody.
a head,
Cody
a torso.
Nichols.
Sorry, I'm
Why do
partially
they do
deaf in
that?
the radio.
Oh,
To make
that's
sure
okay.
that every part of the
Military
baby
service
has
for
been
8
removed
years,
from
so
the mother,
I had a
otherwise
grenade that went
an
off too
infection
close to
can
me.
set in.
Oh.
The
Little deaf.
sepsis that can kill the mother herself.
So you guys do you
They
all
realize
have
that
body
every
cams? That's
abortion
kind of
clinic
cool.
in this country
Not all,
realizes
I've
seen that
protects
before.
a human
Oh, you haven't seen
baby
it?
that was
No,
taken
well,
out
I've
of
seen
the
it on
mother.
police officers.
Oh.
Human
Yeah,
babies
seen
for
it.
documentation, I do it everywhere I go to document what happens, and some people it might make them less hesitant to do something, and just to document several things, and protection's one of the reasons.
Well, I can
But-
imagine, yeah.
It's a woman's body and she can do what she wants with it.
Actually, one reason that I got involved in doing this on a regular basis was through this, seeing YouTube videos.
So what do you mean on a regular basis?
Well-
Do you guys come on all the bunch games, or do you guys?
Not all games. Like this is maybe my third or fourth one coming to. It on a regular basis, meaning like personally, I do this most days. Well, in addition to working, I go out most days to different events or to street corners, intersections, and I just make it a priority. And there's a family out here. There's a family here who joins me when I come up here because I'm actually from Illinois. And so like just regular basis most days. I didn't used to do that because I just didn't think about doing it.
Right.
And now I regret that they never occurred to me, because I wish I had been doing this years ago, on a regular basis, like 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. And because this, at least in my mind, this is communicating a great urgency. Christians that actually believe abortion is murder are acting like it, and Christians need to be doing this more. They need to talk about a lot. They need to get out to the streets, preach the gospel. And
So is there like a local church that you guys are linked
We
up
go to-
with you being from Illinois, or?
we go to Mercy Seat.
Okay.
It's,
Is that another church that's located here?
It's
Located where you're at?
not in Illinois. We attend Mercy Seat, which is at the Zuvari Center, next to the zoo, and I also have a very small fellowship that I meet with in Illinois, and we're abolitionists, and we confront the evils in our culture, and which is what the book of Ephesians says, to expose the deeds of darkness and preach the gospel, and because a lot of people here probably haven't heard the actual biblical gospel. They've heard something watered down, but
Probably.
have they heard the actual gospel?
Yeah.
Some at least. And so I'd encourage you to think about what we're doing out here and ask the Lord what He'd have you to do.
I've always wondered how these groups get started and stuff, like who they're, how they all get together and come to these events, and it's always been interesting. I witness a lot of different things in Chicago and New York and all the different major cities that I go to with the bus. I've always wondered, is it all local? And it's interesting to know that, you take the time on your day to drive from Illinois, because I know how long. I just brought a group from Illinois, an hour and a half to drive up here.
Yeah, an hour and a half,
the
2
gas,
hours.
the money, the money that you spent to come out here. It's cold. It's January. It's the Midwest. So I mean,
I'm used to the cold. Well, it's just a drive. It's the Lord has given me a fire in my bones, like He did Jeremiah, and the book of Jeremiah, and where I can't live my life comfortably. Like in an air-conditioned home, living for myself. I have to get out there, even in the freezing cold, and speak truth, proclaim the gospel, and show images of my murdered neighbors, knowing that the more I do this, children will be saved, and people will see this and they'll turn away from it. And it's also taken away from people that they didn't know this was taking place. Because you know how old I was when I found out about this?
20, 30 years. Get right with them. How have you wasted that time?
Very close, 22.
Yeah. All right, I'm good at this.
Yeah, I was a little older.
Yeah.
I was 22 when I found out about this Holocaust. I'd never known about it, and heard about it through Christian radio. Okay. And I just had to do research on what do I do about this, because I had the same question then, and I still have this, and I'm still wondering what more can I do. And one thing I started doing was going out to the local abortion facility, and talking about it. And like I said before, I was pretty much the only one talking about it back then.
Right.
And that persisted for years, where I was really the only one talking about it a lot, sometimes even at all.
Right.
And I realized this is the problem. This is why like I went to a Christian college, and I don't know if I was amazed, but I was saddened how many students I talked to that didn't know that there was an abortion facility in that city. And I was like, I just thought the parents are teaching their children right. They're at least, they're not teaching them about this injustice, this evil. They don't even know there's an abortion facility here until I told them. And so people aren't being educated about this Holocaust. Even Christians raised in homeschool, they're not doing anything about this. And this continues because Christians tolerate it. And if we stop tolerating it, this will be over.
If they saw that happen today, a murderer getting set free, a rapist getting set free,